And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
How about them Cowboys? Click like Power Boys. Make say Wild Boys for the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Cowboys. You tuning in to the team that win. Big game, first name James. He interviewed, he called the games. Silver blue, you know the name. From the Emmitt Smith to the Michael Irv. We beating skins, shooting birds. I see a baby snatch it out his fur. Favorite team on the planet Earth. From Monday night to Sunday church. BJ putting in the work. I'm tuning in, no need to search. Through thick and thin and good and worse. Them Cowboys, click like Power Boys. Make you say Wild Boys for the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Cowboys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the goddamn, they did it again. How about them Cowboys? Click like Power Boys. Make you say Wild Boys for the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Cowboys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that's silver and blue that did it again. Like Power Boys, make you say Wild Boys for the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Cowboys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the goddamn, they did it again. How about them Cowboys? Click like Power Boys, make you say Wild Boys for the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Cowboys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that's silver and blue that did it again.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Jump on in here. Jump on in here. Jump on in here. You know what it is. Big Game James. I'm in the house. Just going to talk a little Cowboys football right quick. Y'all know what it is. Yeah, man. If we ever get to the Super Bowl, Matt, we definitely will play it. By the time we play that, by the time we get to the Super Bowl and we playing that song, we might all be dead. So let's just keep it real. But how's everybody doing? Matt, life's crazy. Florida Cowboy. Keep on coming up in the building. Yo, my dog Los, what's up with you, big dog? I probably should change this. I don't know why I got it up here, but you know what? Hey, I might as well just keep that up there too. Let me change that image right quick. Put that TP up there. I don't want to see them Jones boys again. We know how they do. There we go. Change that right there. There we go. Now let's try this. There we go. All right, so it's good to hear from y'all. Good to see y'all. Come on in the building, man. Hit that like button, all that good stuff, man. We're talking Cowboys football, as always. So you heard the news today. If you're any kind of a Cowboys fan, I know you heard the news. Tony Pollard is tagged. If you're a real Cowboys fan, you're not surprised by this at all. And yeah, we're going to show those numbers. Life's crazy. But I made a video about this on Friday about, the running back situation. I don't know. To me, I just feel like, it's the same old Cowboys. I've been against the tag with Tony Pollard from day one. I said, just sign him to a deal. That way you can extend money out. You'll have money to play with. You can make some moves, do some things of that nature. You can do those type of things. You know what I'm saying? But, when Stephen Jones interviewed at the Combine and they were like, are you going to give Tony the tag? Somebody's going to get the tag. It's not going to necessarily be Tony Pollard. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is necessarily going to be Tony Pollard. You feel me? Yes, it is. We all knew. Who else was you going to give a tag to? You feel me? Like, that's the kind of stuff in my opinion, that be bothering me when they say, oh, who you going to give the tag? Somebody's going to get the tag. But, we're not necessarily going to say who. Who else would have got the tag? You weren't going to tag Dalton Schultz again. Who else was going to get it? You weren't going to tag Donovan Wilson. You were going to tag Tony Pollard. He was the only one you were going to tag. And yet you're trying to sit here in the media trying to tell us, oh, we don't know who's going to get the tag. We'll let you know. Tony Pollard was getting the tag. Okay? So, and let me be first to tell you, I love Tony Pollard. Okay? I loved him when they drafted him. It sucks that you just now saw his best year when it's up, his contract is up. And let me say something about that franchise tag because I made a tweet about this. I think the franchise tag sucked. When I was, illiterate back in the day with certain football things and they gave him the franchise tag, I used to be like, man, y'all got the franchise tag. Y'all getting paid like the top highest player in the leagues right now. Why you bad about getting the tag? Then when I just started getting into this and started investigating, getting in this kind of business and seeing what that tag does, if you're an NFL player, you don't like the tag. Yeah, you get the top pay of, the top 5 players. But, dog, that's 1 year. This ain't like the NBA. This ain't like baseball. Injuries are less in those sports. It's a high probability rate. We just saw Tony Pollard get his ankle smashed in the San Francisco game. So you one injury away. You saw with Dak. Dak was on it. Got hurt in 5 games. You feel what I'm saying? And if it wasn't for everything he did prior and Dallas didn't really have a quarterback, I don't know what would have happened in that. But I just feel like the tag is dangerous for an NFL player, especially for a running back. Because think about it. You're a running back. You're getting hit damn near every play. If the Cowboys bring back Ezekiel Elliott, I want to know what that dynamic is going to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm a running back and if I'm TP, I'm not happy with you tagging me. I don't care if you pay me $10 million for 1 year. Okay, that's great. But what if I don't have a great year? Right? What do you think Dallas is going to do if Tony Pollard comes back this year, right, after you gave him $10 million and he kind of does a Dalton Schultz and has like maybe 750, don't have an explosive year? Now he done lost money, right? He made $10 million for that 1 year, but all those years after it now, if he doesn't have another good year like he had this past season, or if he gets hurt again, his value goes down, especially as a running back. His value is minimal because they're going to lowball you as a running back in this league. They're not going to pay you big money. Look across the league what they were signing free agents for, okay? And what's crazy is Ezekiel Elliott, and I'm not bashing on Ezekiel Elliott, but Ezekiel Elliott has the high cap number, right? Now you hear about Derrick Henry. Got signed to that big deal. Now they talking about trading him. Christian McCaffrey got signed to that big deal. Now they talking about, they did trade him. You know what I'm saying? But now we're up in Dallas land saying, Jerry Jones, well, we can make this work. I can see this financially where it can work. And I just don't understand it. I just feel like it's kind of scary thinking because you're worried about the unknown. So since you're worried about the unknown, you don't jump out there and make some moves. Like you drafted Tony Pollard in the 4th round, and that worked. We've seen time and time again in the NFL that they get these young players in the NFL. These young players advance. Just look at these scores that they've been having in the combine. They've been crazy. These young players are a lot more advanced than they were before. So you can live, and you don't have to have one main running back. You can have a couple. But you've seen time and time again, these other teams, they get 4th rounders, 5th rounders, 6th rounders, 7th rounders, and they do the job. And you can keep them on a cheap deal. They're going to be even cheaper if you draft them in those later rounds, so you don't have to pay no money, which they always trying to save money, right? So wouldn't it make more sense to do that? It just feels to me that guys are just scared. I just feel like the front office is just worried that, we're going to fall off if we don't re-sign TP or, they're not going to, I don't really think they're going to rework a deal. I just don't feel like, I feel like he's going to play on the tag just like Dalton Schultz. Here they were saying, let me read you something from Todd Archer, y'all. What's up, Kenneth Johnson, Tavis? What's good with you? King, Early the Wise. What's up with you, dog? But look at this right here. This is from Todd Archer. Okay. Let's read this. I'm gonna read this to you. If y'all can see that on the screen. So this is just happening. I love reading. I love Todd Archer because he is thorough with it. Yes, that Darnell Washington is nice, but he done upped his draft stock, and we gonna show them combine numbers. So we'll talk a little combine. But this right here, just read it. So Ezekiel Elliott set to count $16.4 million against the salary cap with a non-guaranteed $10.4 million base. The Cowboys could look for Elliott to take a significant pay cut, but it's worth pointing out that they did not make a pay cut offer to DeMarcus Ware or receiver Dez Bryant before releasing both. Jerry loved Dez, but I don't know. He really loves Ezekiel Elliott. I don't know if they love DeMarcus Ware like that. But as you keep on reading, speaking late last week at the NFL Combine, owners and general manager Jerry Jones was not ready to say Ezekiel Elliott has reached the end of the line with the Cowboys. If I could replicate that feeling that I had before Pollard got hurt and the feeling with Zeke, I'd dial it up right now. That very feeling, I would try to improve upon that right now, right? And then as I keep scrolling, Pollard ranked fourth among running backs and yards per touch, 5.9. Ezekiel Elliott was last. Whew. Last year, the Cowboys tied up $20.6 million to their running back room. With Pollard now on the tag, that number is $27.68 million in 2023. That figure does not make fiscal sense in a salary cap league where running back values have diminished. Right? So, if the Cowboys cut Ezekiel Elliott, they would save $4.86 million. If they designate him a post-June 1 cut, they would save $10.9 million. The Cowboys would like to sign Pollard to a multi-year deal with the tag in place. They have until July 15 to do so, or he will play with the season counting $10.9 million against the cap. That just doesn't make sense to me. And do y'all really think he's going to work out a deal? It may happen, but I just don't believe they're going to work out a deal. They haven't. They had DeMarcus Lawrence 2 years in a row. They didn't work out a deal. They had Dalton Schultz. They offered him, $12 million? No. You get what I'm saying? Dak Prescott. No. They haven't worked out deals before the deadlines. They don't make deals before deadlines. You know what I'm saying? So it will make me think that they're going to go ahead and make a deal for Pollard and he's going to get signed up. No, they're going to be cool with staying at that 10-point whatever mil and roll with it for a year. And I don't believe they're going to sign him to a multi-year deal. It's just me. I don't feel that way because I just don't feel like they're going to do that with Tony Pollard. I feel like they're going to do this 1-year rental on him. You know what I'm saying? They're going to do this 1-year rental on him and see what they can get out of him, and we'll see what happens. But it says, look at this right here. So, and you can read the deal what they're talking about with Dak Prescott when he was tagged. Dalton Schultz, they were talking about him with the tag, and they said the Cowboys offered him a multi-year deal that averaged $12 million a year. But, yeah, it sounds good about what they average per year, but how long was that deal? So, they'll probably lowball him in the end. That number looked good, but we didn't get to see the whole ins and outs of that contract, so I don't know how good that deal really was. You feel me? And it couldn't have been that great because it said had the Cowboys opted to use the franchise tag on the second straight year, it would have cost $13 million. The Cowboys offered a multi-year deal last year that averaged $12 million. And Dalton Schultz turned it down. So that could not have been a good deal if Dalton Schultz turned that down. It was $12 million. It couldn't have been. It was a lot of probably mumbo-jumbo in that contract, and Dalton Schultz was probably like, nah, I'm going to do something else. And that's the way the Cowboys do it. They lowball. I'm not saying every organization doesn't do that because I know a lot of organizations lowball. That's just what they do. But especially with Dallas, that's what's going to happen. But let me get down to here. Forget about him right quick. Let me get down to here. Let's see. Actually, the vibes coming out of Indianapolis when it comes to most of the Cowboys free agents to be is the team wants players to see their market values and then come back to Cowboys and see if they match. Not all of them, but most. So here's where you can restructure. With the Pollard deal counting against the cap now, they're about $20 million over the $225 million cap. They can restructure Dak's contract, which will open as much as $22 million. Extend them or restructure it. Well, they said they were asking Stephen Jones, are you going to restructure it? Are you going to restructure? Are you going to extend Dak? I ain't talked to Dak's agent. We don't, we're just going to wake up and then it's just going to be done. Okay. That's what we're doing? Okay. So here's the money that they could free up. A Prescott extension would open up more. What are you waiting for? But that won't happen before next week. We'll see. Then there's the potential Elliott cut, if he's cut, or take a pay cut. They can restructure the contract of receiver Michael Gallup and create $7 million in space. They can get nearly $18 million if they restructure deals of defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence and Zach Martin. Space won't be the issue, right? And they can do it with Tyron Smith too, because they already said they ain't letting him go, right? They're not letting him go. So then we hear in the streets that, we thought Delville Gallimore was probably going to get cut because he kind of underachieved. Now we're hearing they're talking about keeping him. So it just seems like, to me, the Cowboys are saying, we got Mike McCarthy now. This is just from my perspective. We got Mike McCarthy now. Well, let's keep everything intact and see what he does with it. That's what it feels like to me, in my opinion. That's why they're trying to hold on to everybody, because we had all these people with Kellen Moore. We didn't do it. Now we got Mike McCarthy, Brian Schottenheimer. We got pretty much his staff the way he wants. Let's just keep everybody and let's see what happens with that. That's what it feels like to me, what they're saying. You get what I'm saying? And it just feels like they're not trying to jump out there and try to make any moves. It's like they could really get greasy and grimy in free agency, rework stuff, and make moves. But it's just like they try to keep it the way it is, and they don't really, because they're never players in free agency, so they don't never have to get creative. You see what I'm saying? And they don't have the pressure of having to get creative. As I said before, I made a post about the general managers in the NFL have the shortest lifespan of all the, what they said, 5 or 6 major sports. They have the lowest lifespan. 2.1 years over the past 5 years. 2.1 years as long as a general manager thrives in the NFL before he replaced. And how long has Jerry been a GM? Right? There ain't no pressure for him to change. There ain't no pressure for him to get up off his seat and say, let's do this and let's do that. Because as he said, nobody's firing me, and I'm not firing myself. So therefore, there's no pressure for him to really jump up and say, well, let's make this move or let's make that move. Or it's easy for them to just sit there and chill because they can do it on their own time because everybody is nothing but family. You get what I'm saying? So they're going to control the narrative of what they're going to do, and they can just sit on their hands and do it the easy way, I feel. They don't make trades. They don't jump out there. They made the Amari Cooper trade, but I just feel like you had 2 bad seasons in a row, and that was desperation. That was a desperation move to me. And if they don't feel like they're in a desperate mode, then they're not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Brian Peters? What's up, everybody? Jump in there. What's up, Amy? Tavis, how you doing? Yeah, Tank Bigsby. I like him. Let's jump in there. Let's look at some stuff. Because I was talking this stuff, man. I just feel like we knew it was going to happen with Tony Pollard. I feel like they're going to bring back Zeke. I really do. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with this money thing, but they love Ezekiel Elliott. Like, he's the favorite son. So I just don't see where he gets cut, in my opinion. I just don't see it. You know what I'm saying? But let's go to some players at that combine. Let's talk a little bit about that combine. All right. Appreciate you, Amy. I love you too. Yeah, Devon Chain. I don't know if he's dropping to the third, Matt. But let's get in here right quick and let's look at some of this combine stuff. So let's start with the quarterbacks first. All right, let's start with the quarterbacks first. I heard they were really meeting with Max Duggan. Here's his numbers right there. Max Duggan, 6'1", 207. He ran a 4.5. Not bad at all. Arm length. It's a little short, isn't it? Good hand size though. But I'm gonna keep it real, and I'm not hating on you, Max Duggan. I'm not Duggan, Max Duggan, Duggan. I'm sorry. I'm not hating on you, but you just give me Andy Dalton vibes. you give me them Andy Dalton vibes. I don't know why, but you give me them Andy Dalton vibes. I just want to stay away from you. It just, in my opinion, I just want to stay away from a Max Duggan. I just want to stay away from that. I just get the Andy Dalton vibes, and I don't want to do it. And I can't lie. I like the Hendon Hooker, okay? I feel like he's more what that kind of fits to them, okay? And I kind of like him. I mean, he's got a nice arm. He can scramble. You can let him develop. He's good size, 6'3", 217. You see his numbers right here. Nice arm length. You see Max Duggan's arms, 30-inch arms. And the Hooker's got 33. Hand size, 9.8. Look at Hooker's, 10.5. So he's got wingspan. Max is 73. Hendon Hooker's 79. Okay? So I'm going to keep it real. I like Hooker. If we talking about quarterbacks, right? And also, let's go down here. C.J. Stroud, right? I ain't going to say the name, but, it was in the streets that, C.J. Stroud, you saw what he did at the Combine, right? There is no chance that he's coming to Dallas, in my opinion. No chance. How does he fall to Dallas? How does that even happen? We heard in the streets, they're intrigued. Of course, everybody's intrigued, but C.J. Stroud is going in the top 10. If they ain't picking him in the top 10, you crazy, right? You crazy. So, for me, when we look at all these quarterbacks, if I was looking for a backup guy, just for me, it would be Hendon Hooker. Because you can let him develop, and I think he'd be all right for you, especially as a good quality backup. I like him. I just feel like Max gives me the Andy Dalton vibes, and I would just stay away from him if we're talking about quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're right. Probably top 5 because he was smooth. Because a lot of people, I'm out here in Ohio, so I get to see Ohio State games. You know what I'm saying? So I got to see C.J. Stroud. And a lot of people out here in Ohio, Ohio State, I talk to a lot of Ohio State fans, and, they tell me, CJ was nice, but, he's skittish in the pocket. He don't want to get hit, and they kept on saying that. But, that game against Georgia, that silenced a lot of critics, and he's smooth as hell in that pocket. So Dallas can be intrigued all they want. They ain't getting no C.J. Stroud. Hendon Hooker is the guy, in my opinion, that they should look at and go after, especially because he's hurt. So he's probably going to drop, right? Because he's still rehabbing. So he's definitely probably going to drop. So that would just make the most sense if you're getting a quarterback later on. Because, hey, Cooper Rush, he did a great job. That was great. He did a great job. But for me, I kind of want to stay off that. You know what I mean? So that's our receivers right there. Let's go to these running back. Oh, this is the wide receiver. Let's move it up to wide receivers. Right? So let's go up to these. Let's go up to the receivers. We're going to jump on these running backs. Let's go to the receivers. So I want to hear about y'all in the chat right now. I want to hear y'all in the chat right now. And I want to hear what receivers are you liking? Because for me, I haven't went deep in them. But, people were talking about Jordan Addison. Didn't do the greatest. Arms weren't that long. Small hands, small body. Ran pretty much like a 4.5. And he was like the darling. And now, Mike McCarthy, if you looked at when he coached at Green Bay, and even now, they like the tall receivers, right? Like CeeDee Lamb is like 6'2". They drafted Jalen Tolbert. He was like 6'1". They like him at least over 6 foot, preferably 6'1" and above, right? So this is a small receiver draft, okay? This ain't the draft like it was before, you feel me? This ain't like the draft like it used to be. You know what I mean? So why is this? Bot. I think my bot is hearing y'all say Hooker. You know what I'm saying? But let's go to receivers, right? Now, Zay Flowers, 5'9", 182. Do I think he falls to 26? No. Do I think the Cowboys drafted 5'9", 182 at 26? I don't know. To me, the Cowboys would be more likely to draft a guy like, are we scrolling down here? Where is he at? Tyler Scott, he's another fast guy like Justin Smith, Najeba, dog. He's not that. Cedric Tillman. So Cedric Tillman from Tennessee, 6'3", 213. Ran a 4.5, I could see the Cowboys drafting a receiver like him later on. You know what I'm saying? Because they like the tall guys. They like the big, tall guys. You know, they don't want to get the shorter receivers. And I don't know if they jump out there and get a shorter receiver early like that. You know what I mean? Like, people were talking about, obviously, Tank, what's his name? Dale. What's his name? Where is it? Tank Dale, 5'8", 165. Dallas ain't drafting him that early. You know what I'm saying? And they got Turpin. Now, I ain't saying Turpin's any kind of receiver like that, but I think they would use him more, and I think Mike McCarthy would use him more than Kellen Moore did. You get what I'm saying? In spot duty. But I just don't see them drafting a little dude like that. I just don't see it. And I think he'll be gone by the time they even contemplate him. But just like, and my guy told me about him, Dante Demas Jr. from Maryland, 6'3", 212. Those are the type of receivers they like to mess with, especially Mike McCarthy. Go through his history. He liked tall guys. He liked the tall receivers. Rarely does he get them really short guys. And then even we go down to Jalen Hyatt. First of all, I didn't know Jalen Hyatt was that small. He's only 6 foot 175. He ain't big dude. You know what I'm saying? He ain't a big dude at all. People were criticizing him because they thought he was going to run the 4.2s, the 4.3s. But I said, you know, that playing speed is crazy. You feel me? Now, he's not polished at all. And I think what's going to hurt him is that he's 6 foot and he's 175 pounds. So he's not a big dude at all. So he's going to have probably problems in the NFL dealing with those NFL type cornerbacks, you know, with the press coverage, things of that nature. But if you put him in those 3-4 wide sets, I think that's when you can really see him. So I'm hoping a Jalen Hyatt can drop, you feel me, into them later rounds, and then you can scoop him later, you know. But I think that the Cowboys, you know, Quentin Johnson, he doesn't fall to Dallas. I don't believe that. You know what I mean? Maybe a Marvin Mims Jr., he went crazy, but that speed, dog, there's a lot of other teams that are saying, hey, 5'11", 183, we don't care. We're going to rock it and do it. Dallas always strictly goes by those numbers. The numbers got him in trouble with Rod Marinelli when you drafted Chaco Charlton. You want to always go on numbers. You don't always go on numbers. You got to look at the player. So sometimes you don't always look at that height and what it does. You got to look at what is that player. What does he really bring to the team? You know what I'm saying? So I wonder what the Cowboys really do at the receiver position. But, you know, I was reading some stuff on Bobby Belt, right? And Bobby Belt's my guy. And he was saying his hunch in the first 3 rounds, and I kind of have to agree with him, that his hunch in the first 3 rounds is going to be a running back, a receiver, and what else did he say? Running back, receiver, and a corner. Running back, receiver, and a corner. And possibly an O-lineman. O-lineman could possibly sneak in there. I could see that. Or, you know, tight end, because the tight end class is pretty good. You know, as I keep on scrolling through these guys. I just feel like, and then Michael Wilson, another guy from Stanford, but he ran a 4.58. You know, 6'2", 213. Them is the guys that the Cowboys are enamored with. Appreciate you, Tavis, for the $9.99 holler. Xavier Hutchinson, wide receiver, Iowa State, is official. But are the Cowboys going to mess with him? You know what I'm saying? Are the Cowboys going to mess with him, Tavis? You feel me? And this draft class of receivers is shorter than usual. Usually you have the tall receivers. They are like the darlings, but it's a lot more shorter receivers. And check this out, though. See, what's crazy to me is where I don't want the Cowboys to go by the numbers, because if they went by the numbers all the time, you're going to miss out. Look at these small receivers that are turning up. Devontae Smith, little. Almost had 100 catches, over 1,000 yards? Tiny. Tariq Hill and Jalen Waddle. These small guys are making a comeback again. The smaller receivers are making a comeback. Just because you might be under 6 foot does not mean you're not going to be a dog receiver. And that's the problem I have with the Cowboys, is sometimes they look too far into that and they're going to miss out on really good receivers because they're looking at those height weight measurements. Another guy that I think they would look at is Rasheem Rice right here. SMU, 6'1", 204. That's at 4'5". That's a guy that they could be looking at. He already was working out with Dak. I think he had a picture with him. That's another guy that they could probably be looking at like, that could probably work. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, I feel you, Iceberg, but Bijan. They're not getting Bijan. He's not falling that far. I don't think. I don't know. But are you going to draft a Bijan if you bring back Pollard and Zeke? That's just hard for me to believe that they're going to draft a Bijan. But they like bell cow running backs. But it's just hard for me to believe that Bijan checking all these marks and checking all these numbers, he falls down to 26. You know what I'm saying? But those are the receivers. Let's go down to these tight ends. Now, I ain't been hitting these tight ends all like that. Y'all throw in the chat what tight I'm going to look at you. My dog Tavis, you know it all, dog. You be knowing everything on here. You be going hard. I don't know if the Eagles going to take Bijan at 10. That's rich. That's really rich. Yeah, I'm telling you, Rasheed Rice, he might be a guy the Cowboys draft. That's a guy that we really need to be talking about on the radar, because if he falls, I think the Cowboys could draft a Rasheed Rice. I really do. When we look at these tight ends right here, I think somebody mentioned Darnell Washington. I don't think he falls to the Cowboys the way he did. I mean, you see what you see his numbers right here. Look at his hands, 11-inch hands. 6'6", 264, running a 4.6, dog. He ain't falling no dollars. And they've already met with a few people. Now, I'm going to go right here and show you something right quick. Hold on. Let me go right here. Okay, there it is. Some informal meetings. And then we're going to jump back over to these running backs. Ooh, that's a good comparison, Samuel Rowe. Could Jerry be playing possum, Amy? I don't know. You know, because he old now. You know what I'm saying? He old, so I don't know if he plays the possum now at 80 years old. Yeah, you're right, Chris. He loves them tall tight ends. But check this out. This is the meetings that they've had. Now, you see where it's at the top. I don't know if you can see it all, but Ohio State receiver – Jackson, he met with the Cowboys. They talked to him, but it wasn't a formal meeting. The formal meetings are the real ones, right? Wide receiver Raheem Jarrett, formal meeting. Jalen Hyatt met with the Chiefs, Cowboys, but it wasn't a formal meeting. You know what I mean? Notice what the formal meetings, I don't have them all, but look at the formal meetings that they had. Offensive lineman. Minnesota center John Michael Schmitz, formal interview. This is the guy that we want right here. Devon Achane had a formal interview with the Cowboys at the Combine. I'm excited about that one. Now, I haven't been excited about a lot that's been going on in Dallas lately, but I'm excited about that. Like, if by chance you bring back Ezekiel Elliott, that's the running back you have to draft if he's available for you. No ifs, ands, or buts, because he fits perfectly what you're doing. I don't know where that Malik Davis thing goes after this, but if you were to get a Devon Achane, that would be explosive, because that dude, he got wheels. You're not running him in between the tackles. You want to keep him in space, okay? But, dog, what he's going to offer the team, bring him in on third downs, and really get creative with a player like him, he can do so many things for your offense, not just with that speed. He ran a 4.3, right? We knew it was, and he came in at, 5'9", 188. Not bad, okay? Not bad. Thought it was going to be a little smaller than that, but not bad. That's the guy, in my opinion, you want to target at the running back position. Now, I know they like to have him bigger backs, whatever, but if you're already bringing back Pollard and you're talking about bringing back Ezekiel Elliott, I don't know why you wouldn't do it in a Devon Achane. I don't know why you wouldn't do that. Because, dog, he's explosive, what you want. You want to have explosion, okay? You want to have explosion on this offense. They said they want to get better, more explosive. That's how it gets explosive. If you bring him in, whoo, oh, my God. And like I said, he ain't no soft dude. I watched him in that LSU game. He ran like 38 times in there for 200 yards, and he was running in between the tackles strong. Now, that's not his game. Okay, that's not his game, but he doesn't shy away from it. You know what I'm saying? So let's look at some others. They're going to draft a running back, right? Alabama, Jamari Gibbs, formal interview. You know what I'm saying? What's up, sis? How you doing today? Another formal interview, an offensive lineman. They love the Michigan players. Formal interview. Look, Shoemaker, formal interview. Jordan Addison, he met with the Cowboys, but it wasn't a formal interview, right? So formal interviews mean everything. So let's click back over here to these tight ends. You see Luke Shoemaker, 6'5", 251. They still got McEwen on the roster. He's like in his third year. You got Jake Ferguson, Peyton Hendershot. You know Dalton Schultz is gone. If you draft a tight end, I wonder if you're going to draft him early. That would be crazy, but Mike McCarthy loves those tall pass-catching tight ends that can extend the field. He loves having them. He does a lot of things with those tight ends. He gets real creative with those tight ends. But I feel like you already got a couple, and McEwen ain't no bum. You can get a blocking tight end. So I don't know what the thought is getting a tight end. I know it's a really good class, so maybe you don't want to miss out. I feel you. You don't want to miss out on a really good tight end because, you get a 6'7", 6'5" guy that can really do a lot of things. I get it. But, I mean, Fergie and Hendershot, that's a great one too. And like I said, McEwen ain't no bum. Like, I was having high hopes for McEwen before they got them other guys. You know what I'm saying? So, Trey Palmer, he's cool. He's with Nebraska, super fast. Haven't seen a whole lot of tape on him. Big Ten, I got to see a lot more tape on these receivers. I'm going to keep it real. I just know he's fast, decent size, catching over them slants. I like that because it's going to be a slant type of game, right? Now let's get over to these running backs right quick. Yeah, the iceberg. Darnell, that's a big dude. That's a big dude. But let's get over here because we got over in these running backs. I'm scrolling down. Let's get over these running backs right quick. So, man, there's a lot of running backs, and this is where I'm like, why are you keeping Ezekiel because you scary? Are you scared? Like, are you scared? That's what I feel like. You worried? Like, I get it. He's been a warrior. You got blocking. He had 12 touchdowns last season, but a lot of those touchdowns were inside the 10-yard line. Are you keeping a guy just for short yardage, goal line situations? Got a lot of young guys in here that could really give you juice right now, man. Look at all these running backs on here, bro. I mean, there's some guys. You know what I mean? And I don't even have all their times right here. I can go right here and show you their times. Look at these running backs' times right here. I'm going to skip over to here. Keaton Mitchell, I like him too, from East Carolina, but, he's smaller. He's around the size of Devon, but, my little homie plays for East Carolina, Julius Wood, and make sure you keep an eye out on him because he's going to be one of the top safeties in the draft next year. We actually coached him out here. He's going to be a dog, so that's how I knew about Keaton Mitchell from East Carolina. He ran a 4.37, you feel me? Chase Brown, Bijan's right there. I don't see how Bijan falls to us. Zach Cabernet, he's a bell cow. Tank Bigsby, he's a 4 guy, but he's more of a bell cow. He's more of the shady McCoy. He cuts on the dime, like he can put his foot in the ground and cut on you like no other. These are just some of the times right here from these running backs. But look at all these running backs they have on here, though, as I switch back to here. Tajay Spears from Tulane. My dog Sean Tucker, who I like. It's a lot of good backs to choose from. So you're scared to play with a rookie? Because I know Mike McCarthy has played with rookies, but I feel like this front office wants to see the same team with Mike McCarthy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's what's up, Terrell. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what I feel in my heart. I don't know about y'all, but that's what I feel in my heart, that the Cowboys are like, okay, guess what? We had all these people in place with Kellen Moore, and we felt like we were there, right? So I feel like in the front office mind, they're like, why are we going to get rid of these players when you got McCarthy here and we want to see what they do with McCarthy? I really feel like that's the mantra and that's the thought pattern of these guys right now. You know what I'm saying? Is that they want to keep this in the books with the same people. That's why they're talking about keeping Tyron Smith. That's why they're talking about possibly keeping Neville Gallimore. Now, obviously, you're possibly losing Donovan Wilson, but I feel like they're like in their heads, we got Malik Hooker and J-Ron Curse, and we have Marquise Bell that's going to probably take Wilson's spot. So we can afford to let Wilson go. You know what I mean? We can afford to let Dalton Schultz go because we got 2 tight ends, possibly 3. We can let Donovan Wilson go because we have 3 safeties, possibly 4, because you can still slide Mukamu in there if you want. So that's why those guys are expendable. And they haven't put in the work that the Tyron Smith has. And when Jerry loves you, it's hard for him to cut you, right? When the Cowboys love a player, it's hard for them to cut him. So I don't see where they get rid of a Tyron Smith. And he already said they're keeping him. So I just feel like this front office wants to keep as much as the same team intact as they can to see how it rolls with Mike McCarthy. It just feels that way in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? It just feels like that in my opinion. What's up, iRock? How you doing? Yeah, Forbes is small. Yeah, I just named them Smoke 14 for you. Appreciate the $2 holla. Definitely Izzy. Izzy is nice. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know Samuel. 100 tackles, but I feel like they still think he's expendable. Okay, they feel like he's still expendable. Now let's crawl down here because I got offensive linemen. I ain't really checked. We're gonna do offensive linemen this week. I ain't been on them. I'm gonna be looking at them tonight. I haven't been on the offensive linemen. I'm just keeping it real. So I hate to just act like I know about this offensive line. I gotta look at them. But there's plenty of offensive linemen. Not a lot of tackles out there, but there are guards and centers. Right? Biadasz is coming up on his contract. I don't know how they feel about Connor McGovern. I feel like they can replace him. I feel like they're thinking we can replace him. So an offensive lineman is going to get drafted or 2. You still got Waletzko coming back next year, and you still got Farinuk, right? So I feel like they look to maybe upgrade that middle guard position with somebody in here. I don't think they're not touching the free agency. If they do, it's super cheap. But I think this is where they try to attack the guard in the draft right here. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go down to this defense right here. Where we at? Defense and linebackers. Let's go over this defensive line. So let's see. Torrance. What did Torrance do? Torrance he came in at 6'5", 330 pounds, 33-inch arms, 11.25 hands, huge, and he ran a 5.31. Not bad. I don't know what they got on the bench on here. I didn't pull up the bench. Yeah, and Iceberg Slim, John Michael Schmidt, guard center from Minnesota, is a day 1 starter. They had and let's move up and let's show him. 6'3", 301 pounds. Hands are good enough. Arms are decent enough. And they had a formal meeting with him. He's on their radar. He could definitely be drafted by them. So I hear what you're saying on that, Iceberg. They've already met with him a couple times already. So they're gonna grab an offensive lineman or 2. I wonder what they're gonna do on this defense as I scroll down. Let's scroll down and let's go to this defensive line right quick. And we'll look at some of the, the bench pressing and stuff like that. But yeah, Maisie. I was seeing the video Okoye had on him, and he had 34 reps on the bench. Like, I'm gonna pull that up right here. Let me get them defensive tackles. Let's see. So here we go. I'm going to pull up this Maisie Smith. because I like the kid from Baylor too. Yeah, Van Ness is definitely a fit. Van Ness is definitely a fit at 26, and he's a try-hard guy. I mean, you saw his combine numbers, and he's a big dude. But as Tuck said, he ain't really got a lot of work at Iowa, so I wonder what he's going to do with the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? Like if they were to draft him. But I definitely think he's in the play, but I don't think they touch a defensive end at 26. You know what I'm saying, Amy? I just don't think they touch a DN at 26. But look at that size, 6'3", 323. And, you know, we were all scared of Michigan players after Taco Charlton, right? We didn't want to touch a Michigan player after Taco Charlton. But now, you know, Michigan players have kind of, you know, got that out of there after you've seen Hutchinson turn up, and then they got the one kid over in I don't know if he's at Indy, defensive end, and he's been turning up. So we can't just label them as they are no good. But 6'3", 323. The only thing I say about with the big guys is this: they take longer to come around. And Dallas got, you know, they definitely need to re-sign Jonathan Hankins. That needs to happen to me. And then Bohanna's been okay, hasn't been great. You let go of Ridgeway, which hurts my soul to this day. I still think about Ridgeway, and I don't care. It was only one game, but he was turning up against Dallas in that game. And I'm like, oh, my God, we should have had somebody like him. But do they get a Maisie Smith early? I don't think they draft a defensive tackle at 26. I don't know if this is going to be a BPA, but I don't think they draft a defensive tackle that early. I think what's going to be in the play, just like what kind of what Bobby Bell said, is we kind of back up right here. As you see, this is the bench pressing right here for the defensive tackles. They need to re-sign Hankins. We'll see, you know, what happens with Bohanna. I think they get a young guy, you know, up in here, but do they draft him super high? I just don't know that. You know what I'm saying? So, and that Baylor kid, he was on here too. Let's see. I like the Baylor guy. What's his name? Siaka Ika. Let's look at him. Nola Smith ain't falling that far though, Samuel. But here's I like him. See Samoan. If he's Samoan, and I think Tuck was talking about this on the show. We need a Samoan in the building. I feel him, dog. Like we need a Samoan in the building, and this Samoan's just different. Hey, thank you, Matt. I really appreciate you, dog, for everything you've done. We're definitely thin at defensive tackle, but linebacker, they got Devin Harper. They still got Jabril Cox. They got Damone Clark. And Micah's not going to play full-time defensive end. I just don't believe he's going to play full-time defensive end. I think they're still going to flex him. I don't think they're going to draft a linebacker early. You know what I'm saying? I just don't feel like they're going to draft a linebacker. This is another big boy right here, though. 6'3", 335. And he got a lot of pressures. Like, he pressures that line. You know what I'm saying? He pressures that line of scrimmage. So, I think they need to get guys like this because Hankins is around that 330. They need a guy that's kind of size. You know what I mean? And he's got to be athletic. We need a big athletic guy. Keep those guys clean. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you, Matt, gifting the membership right there. I like how you're doing that. So I know I'm kind of going off the place because I'm skipping back and forth. But to your point, I think it was I'm worried about that DJ Turner doing because they had your boy last year that was drafted early from Michigan. He played with Cincinnati. He didn't get no work. Yes, LVE, he definitely leaving. Henley, yeah, he's fast. Let's see. We scroll down through here. This is all D. This is defensive tackles and defensive ends kind of mixed in here. Now, I'm going to tell you who I like at the end position. Because I think they should get a defensive end. Appreciate you. Yeah, Dax Hill, Chris. Thank you. My dog Tavis would be on it. But if we're talking about defensive end, appreciate you, Matt, for the $10 holla. This is for you for keeping up the good work. You're the best, BGJ. I like your picks, too. I appreciate you, big dog. I appreciate you more than you know, man. You do a lot for this channel, man. You come in and you've been great and you've been awesome, and I really appreciate everything you've done for the channel in this short period of time. So I just want to give you much love for you. But when we're talking about the defensive ends, that cat from Northwestern, he's intriguing. I don't know if I've seen a little bit of his tape. He's intriguing, and he turned up at that combine, and he had a good Senior Bowl. But I don't know if y'all know anything about this guy, MJ Anderson from Iowa State, defensive end, because they got your boy, who what's his name? Where is he at? Will McDonald, who I like, right? Come in a little light because he's only 240 pounds. This dude is 6'2", 270, right? Wingspan, nice. Hand size, pretty decent. Nice enough arms. And that dude is very aggressive in the building. I like that MJ Anderson. And this is another defensive end I like. Now, I was listening to your point. I think somebody said it. Somebody said something about, here's our must signings in me. If you're talking about guys we had that we must bring back, in my opinion, Jonathan Hankins is a must. We gotta re-sign him. We got to re-sign Jonathan Hankins. Then next, you got to re-sign Dante Fowler. Dante Fowler is a must to me because, number one, he ain't old. He ain't like 32, 33, 34 years old. He ain't an old dude. He's still young, and he came in with the juice. And he wasn't even get crazy pass rushing reps. You got to re-sign a Dante Fowler back, right? If you re-sign a Dante Fowler back, it makes it a little bit better where you don't feel like you got to reach and you can get one of these edge guys later. Right? You still got DeMarcus Lawrence, although I feel like you need to start getting ready to replace that. Because as much as, and I know that people are like, man, you just hate DeMarcus Lawrence. But here's my thing about DeMarcus Lawrence. I like Brees too. I hope he ain't getting a love because I love Brees to fall to us and get him later. I would love to get him because that would be a good addition if you got a Brian Brees. But what I was saying was, with Lawrence, I feel like you got to get somebody to get behind him. I know we got Dorrance Armstrong Jr., but like we were saying, he's not an elite guy. He had 8 sacks, and I said he was going to turn up this season. And I liked him. I liked him when he came out of college. His second year, I said, oh, he's going to turn up, and he didn't. Now he just now showing it. But he's still not the guy that you can depend on, right? He's not a guy that when you need a big sack, it's going to be Dorrance Armstrong Jr., you know what I'm saying? Or you need a big pressure. It's not going to be Dorrance Armstrong Jr. It's just not. He works off of other people. He's not the guy that's going to really kill you himself. He really gets it off the stunts. He really gets it off maybe a double team to somebody else and he gets free. He's not the elite dude. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, with D-Law, sacks ain't everything. Pressures, run game, I get it. I ain't hating. But, bro, you got to be able to do something. He got 6 sacks in one season, this past season, right? He ain't hit 10 since his contract year, right? He had 3 sacks in one game. One game against the Giants against not so good player. Well, he was a young rookie in Evan Neal, and we all knew he was going to whoop him. But all the rest of the year, you had 3 sacks. And Dallas went sackless for a while. You know, when Michael was getting beat up and double teamed and things of that nature, you weren't seeing those other guys. So we still need to get pressure up front. We still need to get defensive ends. So that's why I said don't forget about that. This is one of my favorite guys, Felix Ndike Uzamu. Now, he ain't a supreme athlete, but that dude is just he's athletic enough. He got a good enough bend. He's not super bendy dude, but he's bendy enough, and he's relentless. And I think he can be good in the run game. I think he can set the edge, and he's got good size at 255. You feel me? So that's one of my favorite guys in the draft for me for defensive end. Just for me. I'm sure there are other guys that you guys like, but I kind of like him. And if he kind of fell to the Cowboys, I would be excited about that pick. Shout out to Matt for the $5 holler. He said, I know them watch Iowa State and Iowa football all the time because I'm from Iowa. I like them picks. Now, I know you know about him then, Matt, if you're talking about that. But I like Felix, man. It's just I think he's a good player, and I think he really could help Dallas if he fell to Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Let me get some defensive ends because I got that's kind of mixed up. So I'm gonna pull up just strictly the D ends right here. Hold up. So as I scroll over, people have been talking about Darren Hall. I only seen a little bit of him. Okay. Lucas Van Ness, what we're talking about. I don't think he falls far. You know what I mean? They were looking to see how he looked in the combine. He looked really good. I don't think he falls far to us. We're going to be getting those guys probably more the type keep your eye on a Kobe Wooden. Kobe Wooden ain't bad, man. Check him out. He's got good hands, powerful punch, very strong. Great against the run. You're right, Madman. Mad 4D, man. Great against the run, but still got to get them big sacks. Now, I was telling y'all, I also like the opposite guy from Iowa State, which was Will McDonald. Okay, but he's a little light in the pants, but, man, he gives that speed element off the edge. But when we're talking about edges, and I was talking about deep, this class is deep for the fact of not no really superstar power, but you can get a sneaky guy in them later rounds. You feel me? You can make it happen in them later rounds, okay? So when I look at this whole draft as a whole, Dallas can really rack up in this draft either at the corner, because I'm going to pull up the corners. Let me pull up the corners because let me go to my guy right here. Let's go to the cornerback position. I know I'm going everywhere, but hell, I'm going back to these cornerbacks. Okay, so let's go to the positions that I think that are going to go early. So I'm going to pull up the receivers, the corners, and the running backs again. Now, I'm at the corners, right? Yeah, Amy. Now, Army, I keep on calling you Army. I'm so bad. I'm so sorry. I apologize about that. Army Mom Heather C. I don't know why I was calling you Amy. I apologize, Heather C. Jake Campbell would be nice, but they ain't going to draft him that early, Matt. Appreciate the holla. They're not going to draft him early. But now we on the corners, right? Now, there's a few dudes I like on here, okay? Now, if y'all don't know, I made a Deonte Banks. That's my favorite cornerback in the draft, bar none. He's my favorite. I want him. That's the cornerback I want. I want the Dallas Cowboys to get him, but I feel like he's done too much for the Cowboys to scoop him. But if he were sitting there at 26, Cowboys be a fools not take him, in my opinion. Now, his other guy beside him, Jacorian Bennett, he an animal too, for real. He is an animal. If you seen the tape, because when I was watching Deonte Banks, I was like, Banks is nice, but who's this doing on the opposite side of him? Hella aggressive, super aggressive in that run game. He will hit you. And now you see 4-3. Let me pull up Jacorian Bennett. He's a sneaky guy, and you could probably get him later, right? And, I mean, he's good. He's a good player. 5'11", 188, not the biggest, not the longest arms, okay? Not the longest arms, but you can get a guy like him later. He's a sneaky guy, man. I'm telling you, keep your eye on him. But if you had a pick, I'm backing up. If you had a pick at corner at 26, I'm taking Deonte Banks. Okay? This is my guy right here. Nah, I'm not taking I was already kind of sus on Ringo. I was a little sus on him. Then when I kind of watched him at the combine, I'm like, I'm cool on him. I'm just cool on him. That's just me. This is the guy I want right here. I mean, you're getting ready to see the picture. Okay? Deonte Banks is who you want. This is the guy you want. Trust me, y'all. They had him at 6'2", came in at 6 foot, still good enough. 197 pounds, same height measurements like Kelvin Joseph, for real. Hands big enough, not the longest arms, but that 4'3", and I'm telling you, dog, he's sticky. He a mirror. His punch is crazy. He uses that sideline. Now, he's not a guy that's getting interceptions. He's not that guy. But he's a guy that's going to be sticky on you. His coverage is going to be crazy. And he's physical with those receivers. Physical. That's my guy. He's my guy. I want the Cowboys to draft as my top corner. Shout out to Matt again for another $5 holler. If Jerry Jones Jr. will be winning the Super Bowl soon, Samuel Rowe, a.k.a. Landlord from Wakanda, thanks for your support, though. Who can be this year's Bland, BGJ? Ooh. Let's see. He don't have the size. Clark Phillips is sneaky. Tyreek Stevenson, he's sneaky. Of course, y'all got Cam Smith. He's pretty good, too. Tre'Vius Hodges-Tomlinson, don't sleep on him. Good bloodlines. I like Christian Gonzalez, but he's gonna be gone. Okay, I'm off the. I wasn't really on Kelly Ringo. I know he ran the 4.3, but he just seems stiffy to me. Like straight line speed, great, but hippies, I just don't see that. I'm cool. DJ Turner, I don't know. Banks is my guy, and I'm hoping that the draft falls funny where he could actually fall to you. I don't know if he reaches 26 with that speed because, I was wondering if he was a 4. I thought he was a 4.5, 4.4, 4.5-ish. But he came in at 4.3. I don't know if he falls 26, but that's the dude I want, y'all. That's the guy I want. Joey Porter Jr., a lot of people, the bloodlines, right? The bloodlines. Doesn't have the long speed, but he's got those bloodlines, and those bloodlines can carry you a far way. So when we just look at these corners, man, Dallas can get a quality corner out this draft because we don't know what's happening with Kelvin Joseph, right? We do not know what's happening with Kelvin Joseph. Yeah. You're right. Clark Kid from where you was right. From Louisville, where is he at? I just saw him. I thought he was on here. I agree with you. Yeah. Catrell Clark. Yes. Let me pull him up. .5'10", 181. Ooh, arms are short. Short arms and small hands. I don't know if they go that route. Short arms, small hands, 5'11", 5'10", 180. I don't think the Cowboys go that route. Just my opinion. That's just too smallish for them, especially for a cornerback. I don't think they like doing that. They like their cornerbacks big, and I just don't think he fits the bill. Yeah, Iceberg. I think Kelvin Joseph could be a cut candidate if he doesn't show up. And then you don't know what's up with Nashawn Wright. You don't know what's up with him. He showed a little bit toward the end of the year, but this is a make-or-break season for him too, in my opinion, because this is his third year, and he got no time pretty much this year. He was a healthy scratch for a large part of the year. So you got your second-round draft pick in Kelvin Joseph, your third-round draft pick in Nashawn Wright, who are bubble guys right now. So that's why I think you may see a couple cornerbacks drafted again this year by the Cowboys. Maybe one early, maybe one late. But I feel like they jump out and get a corner early. Now, and I think they may go to the corner the first pick, depending who is there. Okay? I don't think they go running back on the first round because you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go that route and get a running back that early because it's plenty. Receiver, Do they get a smaller, shorter receiver at the 26th pick? I don't think so. That's why I feel like corner, because there's a lot of corners in here. There's a lot of corners in here. That could be the pick. That could be the pick. I just feel like cornerback could be that pick in that first pick. Okay? Especially if nothing gets addressed in this offseason, right? Now, I'm going to go back to receiver again because we're going to talk about the big signing, right? The quote-unquote big signing. Okay, Trey Palmer, we talked about him. But here's my thing with this big signing thing. Brandon Cooks they said Brandon Cooks was almost traded by the Cowboys. The Cowboys almost got him, but they seen that $18 million salary. They didn't want to touch that. He could be a candidate when they talk about the big signing, but in my opinion, it's not going to be Brandon Cooks. I just feel like it's going to be Odell Beckham Jr. if it's going to be anything. Now, I know a lot of people are sour on that. I hear a lot of people, I don't want Odell. We get the off-field. Not really off-field trouble, but just maybe the diva-ish stuff. But let's be real. And even I got to be real with this. If Odell Beckham Jr. is healthy, 100% healthy, I know he's had knee surgeries. He's 100% healthy. You're not taking a chance on him? I want to ask y'all in the chat. You're not going to take a chance on OBJ. Because that's why I think the big signing, if they have the big signing, it's going to be OBJ. Because look how the people were talking about it. They were courting him, bringing him in. If that knee would have been good, I think they would have signed him. And I feel like that's the big signing for them because think about this. You're going to tell me in this West Coast offense, when it's quick, get the ball out quick out of your hand, a lot of slant routes, Odell Beckham Jr. is not going to be perfect for that. He's 30. He's only 30. He's not like he's 35. You get me? Let's take away the divish part. I'm asking y'all in the chat. Y'all wouldn't want an Odell Beckham Jr. opposite a CeeDee Lamb, a Michael Gallup, a Jalen Tolbert? Y'all wouldn't like that? That, to me, is the big signing. If there is one, that's the big signing to me. You wouldn't want OBJ? They're not going to get D-Hop, Chris. They're not getting D-Hop. And they're already talking about Kansas City Chiefs already have mad interest in D-Hop. D-Hop going to cost some money. I think he's going to cost more money than OBJ right now at this point because less injury history. And I know Dez Bryant had him on the live. I don't know. I haven't heard any kind of chatter with Hopkins. You feel me? When I already know there's been chatter with OBJ. And then Jerry Jones said, I ain't really been talking to OBJ, but I talked to his mom. So what makes me think that you're going to get a D-Hop when you're talking that you met OBJ's mom? You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's the signing. But I'm asking y'all in the chat, would y'all be mad at that? Let's say he's healthy. Because he said he really didn't want to sign until he was fully 100%. Let's say OBJ is 100%. I'm asking y'all in the chat right now. Because I heard some no's, yes. I like DJ Chark too. That's who I want, but I don't think they're going to get DJ. That's who the guy I want. I've been screaming DJ Chark for the last 2 years. I've been wanting DJ Chark. Okay? But he's not a big signing to the Cowboys. The Cowboys remember, this is Jerry Jones and them, right? This is Jerry Jones and them. They want people to come to the stadium. Is DJ Chark bringing people to the stadium? Hopkins is. But is OBJ really bringing people? Let's keep it real. They looking at that marketing tool. OBJ is a marketable dude. They're going to look at that as a marketability thing. And I ain't going to be mad at it for real. I'm down with it, especially if he's 100%. I know the little office field stuff, but I'm down with it. I am. I can't lie. I can't front. I can't front at all. I can understand where people are skeptical, for real. But yeah, if you got a OBJ with Dak, I mean, I saw how when they as soon as Amari Cooper came in the building, the team was different, right? Dak was different. Amari was different. That connection was nasty when it first came up, right? You know what I'm saying? It was nasty when it came up. So I'm with that. I just feel like that's the explosive element that you would need. That's the explosive element that you get. And I feel like that's the big signing, especially if that knee comes back 100. Zay Flowers ain't dropping that far, big dog. You know, Zay Flowers ain't dropped to no third. I don't believe that. Yeah, you're right. I don't disagree with you, Michael, but that's what they like to do. You know what I'm saying? So that would be the big signing to me. You get an OBJ in the building, that he's a marketable name. I'm talking about from the Cowboys' perspective, not from mine on the marketable thing. I'm talking about how he's going to help the team. But the Cowboys are looking on their brand. You best believe that it ain't all football in Dallas. It's about that brand and how many people we bringing in them seats. How many ticket sales are we getting? Are we on TV? Are we the box office hit? Is everybody talking about Dallas? That's what it's about as well. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I don't think he's going to last to the third, big dog. I think they're going to try to scoop him up early, especially with that time he had. And he didn't play mostly slot at Boston College. He played more outside than inside. You know what I mean? And 5'11" ain't, quote-unquote, tiny. And he was like 183, 184. So that's okay. You know, I just don't think he does that. You know what I mean? Bobby Wagner, I don't think that happens. I was thinking it could. But if you get OBJ, do I think you spend for a Bobby Wagner too? I just don't see that. You know what I mean? I just don't see that coming about, and I don't see that happening. You know what I mean? I just feel like this current roster, the free agent, the front office wants to keep these guys all intact to see what Mike McCarthy does with them. I just really feel that way. I think that's why you see Ezekiel Elliott, them talking about getting him to come back. You tagging a Pollard. I just feel like they want to see Mike McCarthy with this team and see what he does with it. No, Zay is like where is Zay at? I think he came in at a 5'11", if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Oh, he did. You're right. Sorry about that. 5'9", 182. Oh, yeah, he got some short arms, too. Ooh, big hand, decent-sized hands, but short arms. Ran that 4.42. You're right, Iceberg. I could be wrong on that. He could fall. I'll check him out, big dog. I definitely will check him out. But that's just kind of my thoughts right quick, you know, on this Cowboy situation. Yeah, man, Wagner would be sick because if you added a Wagner, right, if you went out and did this, right, if you re-signed Jonathan Hankins, you re-signed a Dante Fowler, if you got a Bobby Wagner and you got OBJ, right, I wouldn't be mad at that. Now, I know how the front office is goofy and how they do, but I've already come to terms with that. So I have to look at the only positives I can look at. But I just feel like Bobby Wagner, maybe, because I was saying maybe he doesn't want the money like that right now, because he got paid over with the Rams. Maybe he want to play with a really good defense because Dallas had a nice defense the last couple of years and you're playing with Dan Quinn. You be that middle linebacker that the Cowboys need. Maybe he will want to feel like, hey, my chances might be great, especially if they went and got an OBJ. Maybe a Bobby Wagner looks and says, maybe I don't ask for as much. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is this. Stephen Jones and them just like, it's like they don't want to be those guys, you know, to really say, hey, let's make this happen. Let's go all in. Let's do it this way. Appreciate you, Matt. You know what I'm saying? What's up, DC for life? What is it, DC for life X? Is that what it is? Sorry, I couldn't see it. Yeah, I don't know, man. Eastside Harold, what's up with you, dog? You going to get that small guy, Bryce Young? I mean, 5'10", 204. Whew. You know what I mean? Whew, they say he hit the measurables. 5'10", 204. Whoa. But, hey, we'll see. Yeah, I don't think we draft him unless he goes late, Brian. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. But if I would say the Cowboys did those four people, I wouldn't feel bad. I would be like, if they got Bobby Wagner and they got OBJ, they re-signed Jonathan Hankins, Dante Fowler, I ain't feeling too bad about that. What's your thoughts? You know what I'm saying? That wouldn't be terrible to me at all. That would actually have me feeling, I won't say I'm going to jump out there and be like, oh, man, Dallas is doing this and doing that. I wouldn't be like that, but I would feel better. I don't feel like they're still playing it safe because they want to hold on to what they want to hold on to. But adding to that defense would be huge. If you added Wagner, kept Hankins, and you added Fowler, and then you drafted an end, drafted a tackle, got your linebacker made late, got you a top corner early, I think that Dallas is going to do works in this draft. They're really going to work this draft. Now, I know we love Donovan Wilson, but I think Marquise Bell is going to be really good. The little small sample that we saw of Marquise Bell, that made me feel good. Ooh, yeah, Floyd. I don't think they do the Floyd thing. I know he just got getting released, but I don't know if they do the Floyd thing. Now, I would love to hear that, Heather C. Sam Williams, I definitely feel like I'm staying with Fowler because he came in and he turned up. Fowler is a good player. Fowler's a good player, and he wants to come back. I think that would be great. And I think, and I feel what you're saying, Heather, on Sam Williams. I think he's going to take the next step. I think you saw in small samples of what he could be. Give him a lot of tick this year, and he's going to be good. But, yeah, on the Bell thing, I just feel like they like Bell. And Bell's got the measurables. He's got the size. I mean, I really think he's going to be good. You know what I mean? So we'll kind of see about that. So I'm going to get up off here. Going to do some studying because I got to study these offensive linemen. I ain't the offensive lineman guy for real. But we're going to have the OC on there Thursday. Boss, you know we doing it. Myself, I don't know if Law's still on vacation, but you know DMV is going to be there in J-Tuck. We're doing offensive lineman this Thursday, so make sure you check that out because there's going to be an offensive lineman drafted by the Cowboys, maybe two. If I were to look at all, I don't know how many. If let's say the Cowboys have like 9 picks, how many picks? Let's see. I'm going to say the Cowboys get a running back. I think they're getting a couple offensive linemen. A running back, a couple offensive linemen. They're going to get a corner. They're going to get a receiver. They're not going to get two. They're going to get probably one receiver, probably get another one undrafted. Get a linebacker, get an end. You need to get an end. You need to get like almost damn near one of everything. A tackle, a defensive tackle, an offensive guard or center, a receiver, a corner, a linebacker. You don't got to get a safety. You don't got to get a quarterback, but I wouldn't mind getting Hooker later. Well, it's going to be interesting. Or you could trade, like a lot of people were saying too. It could be they're a perfect candidate for where they're sitting at to trade back. But I don't trust this front office to wheel and deal and trade back. They did that early. Jerry did it, but they don't do that no more. They don't do the trade backs, and they kind of stand still. This is where they're at, and this is what they do. You know what I mean? So we'll kind of see. But Law's back. Okay, cool. So then Law be there too. So we'll have the full staff Thursday. So you know what's going down tomorrow, the final word. Make sure in the building that I need a lot of y'all people in the building on the channel on that. I know y'all go through all the channels. Jump in mine too. It'll be greatly appreciated if you do that. We're going to talk the final word. We're going to talk Tony Pollard and a whole bunch of stuff. So make sure you tune in for that. Also, I got a couple announcements before we get off of here. I've just set up with this new hosting app called Jayan. It's going to be really exciting. Our first live is next Wednesday. I think I'm going to do a mock draft on that day. Next Wednesday, we're going to do a mock draft, and it's going to be from my Jayan. I'm going to be doing a lot of shows with them on my YouTube page and on my Facebook. So make sure you go support that, please. It's going to be a room. We're going to get that all set up, and it's going to be really exciting. I'm excited to get on with them. Just got on with them last week, and we're preparing. You can go on the app right now. It's spelled JJAAN. JJAA. Is it JJA? Hold on, let me pull it up. I'm doing all this crazy stuff. Let me pull it up. Oh, okay. It's JJAANN. JJIN. Check that app out. I'm gonna be doing a lot of things with this particular company. Starting out next Wednesday, that's going to be our first show with them. And we're going to do a mock draft. I'm also going to do play-by-play games. I know we do Cowboys here, but I also do Dallas Mavericks. Haven't did my Mavericks in a while, but I will be doing play-by-play with the Mavericks through them as well. So if you like basketball, play-by-play, my first play-by-play game I'm doing on this with my new company is going to be on the 17th of this month, Lakers, Mavericks. So check that out. And next Wednesday, we're going to do a live first mock draft with the app as well. So please make sure you go support that. It's going to be a lot of good things. Also, I know it's not for everybody. I get it. But I love doing the things with my high school athletes. I got a couple guys that are coming in tomorrow, but I probably won't post it until probably Wednesday. I got this kid named Cedric Washington. Man, he's got a lot of Power 5 conferences. Linebacker, he's got NFL potential. You really should look at some of these interviews because some of these kids that I'm interviewing right now might actually make it to the next level. Like, I'm telling you, some of these kids I've interviewed. Remember this name, Kobe Williams. 6'6", 310 right now. He's an animal. I'm telling you, some of these kids I'm interviewing could be seeing this next level. Not just college, could see the next level. I got a quarterback, Reese Mooney. He's getting ready to go to Liberty, University of Liberty. And a couple of the kids I'm already offering, they're going to be seniors next year. I got a running back, Jalen Washington. He's going to be a junior. He ran for 2,000 yards as a freshman, okay, as a sophomore. Dog. So please support that. I know not everybody is on the high school athletes, but hey, a lot of these players that we're watching right now, that's where they started, right? Before they went to the combines and all that, they was playing little league and high school football. So please support those kids. When you see the interview, give it a like. You ain't got to sit there and watch the whole thing, but give it a like, man. Support the kids like no other because we need support. And you can really see some of these guys playing on Saturday at some major college schools. For real, I'm interviewing some guys that are playing some major college football. Aiden Armenta, He's going to the University of New Mexico. He signed with them. Like I said, I got Reese Mooney on there. He just signed to play quarterback at the University of Liberty. I got some guys. One of my kid who played for me, well, not just me, but he played with me and my son, Julius Wood. He's going to the league, dog. From East Carolina safety. Check him out. So they all had to start somewhere, so please go support that. So we got a lot of good things coming up this week. Thursday we have our draft with the round table, final word draft session, old lineman. But before that, make sure you chime in. We got the best of enemies. Me and my dog Joe Castro. He just came back from the combine, which was awesome. Yeah, I really do think because Jerry loves him. But it's going to come down to that money because Steven's going to be pushing him with that money. You know what I'm saying? So, and just like I read with Todd Archer, they said they wanted to keep, they love those other guys in DeMarcus Ware and Dez Bryant, but they didn't even offer them a contract, just cut them. But I feel like Zeke is different. So we'll kind of see with that, but I have this feeling that they are. I said you should just move on and let's do this because you can get it in the draft, but I just feel like they want to keep this team intact for Mike McCarthy and see what he can do with it. But we're going to have an outstanding week, a lot of good stuff, high school athletes, draft, best of enemies, final word on Tuesday and Thursday, best of enemies Thursday, high school athletes Wednesday, and we'll see what happens on the freaky weekend. So make sure you stay in tune. I appreciate everybody that was in the building today. Appreciate you, Matt. Appreciate all the people who gave the super chats today. What's up, Thurston? Yeah, the Mavs getting on my nerves too, dog. Luka's getting on my nerves with that no defense, but that's for another day. We'll talk about that for another day. But I appreciate you, Matt Batten. You've been an animal. Appreciate you, Eastside Herald, for the $1 holla. Matt Batten, you went crazy again. Smoke 14, 1-4. Why'd I play 14? So y'all got these names that be throwing me off until I read them. Smoke 1 for you. Appreciate you for your donations as well. Appreciate you, Tavis, for the $9.99 holla. And like I said, appreciate everybody who supports the channel, looks out. Go give it a like. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe, man. I'm getting ready to drop a couple more videos. Go ahead and what's up, boo? How you doing? Thank you. I appreciate you putting in that information for me. Thank you very much for doing that for me. I appreciate that. And I just appreciate everybody with the support that you've done given this whole time. Let's get it up to 15K. We hit 14. We want to get it up a little higher. So I really appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And I don't just say that to say it. I really appreciate the support because this is what I say before I get off here as well. We all want to have like 100, 200, 300, 400 people watching us at one time. We do. It's an ego thing. We all do. Let's keep it real. We all do. But I'm going to be honest with you. If 10, 15, 20, and if you look at the numbers, your heart will probably say, damn, that's only that many people. But if one person is listening to you, this is what I've started to learn. If one person is listening to you, that is huge. Because that's somebody taking their time out of their day to come listen to you and listen to you for a whole time. That's amazing to me. So the fact that you guys come in and you do that, I never take it for granted, and I want to always tell you how much I am forever grateful for what y'all have done for me since I've started this thing and beyond. So I just want to tell everybody who's still on here, man, I really appreciate you guys when I go live, that you jump in the building and take your time out to chop it up with me, listen to what we got to say over here, and we have a good time. So, have a good night. I appreciate you, DC4L, but I really appreciate you guys like no, I really, really do. And don't ever think I ever take it for granted. I never take it for granted what you guys have done for me, just the times we've had. And I just always want to tell you I'm forever grateful for you guys' support. And let's just keep it up. Let's keep going strong in this. And make sure you be in the building tomorrow, deep. Make sure you're supporting everybody. But jump a Big Game James channel. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, I'm out of here. I'm going to end it with how about them Cowboys? Because maybe, just maybe, they might do something a little different. I doubt it. I doubt it, but maybe they might surprise us. And with that, I'm out of here. Big Game James, I love y'all. Talk to y'all soon. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and I'll holla. Peace.
One hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? Click like Cowboys. Make say wild boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Cowboys. You tuning in to the team that win. Big game, first name James. He interviewed, he called the games. Silver blue, you know the name from the Emmitt Smith to the Michael Irv. We beating skins, shooting birds. I see a bank, snatch it out of spur. Favorite team on the planet Earth, from Monday night to the Sunday church. DJ putting in the work. I'm tuning in, no need to search. Through thick and thin and good and worse. Them Cowboys, click like Cowboys. Make say wild boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Cowboys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the goddamn, they did it again. How about them Cowboys? Click like Cowboys. Make say wild boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Cowboys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that's silver and blue that did it again. Them Cowboys, click like Cowboys. Make say wild boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Cowboys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the goddamn, they did it again. How about them Cowboys? Click like Cowboys. Make say wild boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Cowboys. You tuning in to the team that win.